right now. Find out what options might be
Hey, what's
available
going
this
on, guys?
Saturday on our next local spotlight,
Good
sponsored by
evening.
HealthForge.
Hey, how
A
are you all
new
doing?
Hello.
How's everyone
Doing
doing?
well.
Real good?
I'm playing around with my camera here, so just
No worries.
let's see.
Got morning here as well. Yeah, how's it going, Eric? Oh, I think I'm muted. Yeah, Eric, I think I'm muted on there.
There I am.
Nice.
I was trying to get my phone camera to work a little bit here so I could show you around. I'm
Oh,
on a
nice.
49-inch wide monitor, so on the left side of you guys, I have Jeopardy is on right now, and Wheel of Fortune will come on next.
That's a
I
classic.
wanted to share that with you guys.
That used to be one of my favorite shows. Love that one.
Right?
Definitely, definitely. How's it going, Newt? Good to see you.
Hey, Newt.
Hey, doing all right. Work has been crazy still, but I'm making it.
Good to hear.
Hey,
Trying to get
how's
through,
it?
yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we're making it.
Yeah, I know how it is. I know how it is. Yeah, how's it going, Morton? Good to see you here.
Muted. Good to be seen.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, I think you said you tried to join before, isn't it? And then you realized that it was a different day, right? Yeah. All right, cool. And yeah, how's it going, Robert? You all good, Jacobson?
Still above the dirt.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. So how's everyone's 3D printing going? Anything new with you guys?
No.
Same old, same old.
I'll go first. What the heck?
Sweet.
Uh, we talked about HueForge, right, last week,
Yeah,
and I
definitely, definitely.
wound up. I don't know if you can see that. It's backwards if you can, anyway. But this is a device where you put.
Ah,
Uh, so you put your filament in here, and there's a light in there that is calibrated. Excuse me, and it tells you how transparent that particular piece of filament is, so that
Huh.
when you enter it into HueForge, you have an accurate assessment of all of the filaments that you decide to put in there. And HueForge integrates with this. So it's when you open HueForge, it knows this exists and it automatically pops up a requester and asks you what the filament is. And you can tell it whatever you want it to be, but it's pretty nifty. And I got a whole bunch of filament behind me that I'm about to start uh, cataloging. So that's where I'm at on the time scale for it. Just getting started with it, and as soon as I get out of the mental hospital, I'll feel pretty good that I understand even 1/10 of what it is. It's just that complex and versatile. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I've been doing lithographs and other fun stuff like adding photographs to plastic like
nice.
this
That's
with
good.
my color laser jet that I bought for this specific purpose. And I've got a whole shitload of uh, worthless plastic at this point, but again, I'm on the learning curve here a little bit, and so uh, yeah, well, that's been my week anyway, for what it's worth.
Yeah, one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Right? Huh?
Definitely.
Well, some of them are cool. I don't know. You probably can't see that, but that's a terrible uh, view of downtown Syracuse where I live. it's the fountain area, and I'm not getting the light correct on it, so you're not really seeing what it can do. But
Oh, there it is.
there it is. That's better.
That's nice.
And
Very nice.
but it is, basically white plastic if you don't, you know. So that they make the maker space for the bamboo stuff. You can set this up with a photograph, and then you can print a frame, which I put away so I don't have one in front of me. But it fits in there, and then you have this is those are tiny little LEDs,
Okay.
and it plugs in with a USB-C cable right there, and that slides into the frame and back of one of these, and it makes a little pretty picture. And you can give them away for Christmas, like I intend to do.
That's
Yeah.
very cool. That's very cool.
So that's lithography in a nutshell. Um,
Do you have like a tutorial video that you followed? I'd love to try that out.
well, there's lots of it online. I mean, if you want to go to YouTube, you can get down that rabbit hole for days. And they and they're good. I mean, every one of them I've learned something from, but um, I'll tell you what, uh, I'll put some of the tutorials that I find online on the website, in a post, because I don't have them in front of me, and it would take forever for me to, accumulate them and show you. But the part that's cool about these, and I don't know if you can get an understanding of them, but they're textured, so there's something about how they look when they're not lit as well. So there's like that three-dimensional thing going on there. And this is another one that's color, but you can't really. Yeah, this is a mistake. This one has a black background. So now, like I said, there's plenty of learning going on here. But no, here it is, the same one with the actual light background.
That is so good.
Basically, that's a buddy
Amazing.
of mine from Chicago who came and visited a month or so ago and wouldn't give me a good picture, so that's what I had to work with. Um, that's the other thing, getting candid pictures of people, if that's what you intend to do. And they'll do mono. You don't need to have a color like an AMS on the Bambu. They'll do uh, that's a single color. That's just a meme from uh, Imager somewhere I found. I don't even remember. It was just basically a test.
Very nice.
What else can I show you guys? And then, like I said, the pictures. This is what really intrigues me, and I wish to get further into this more. This is what you do is you take the transparencies that teachers used in school when they had the overhead projector and they used the transparency, and wrote on them. And so what you do is basically use transparency instead of paper, and you put it in your color printer, your laser printer, and it prints that color onto the transparency. And then you tape the transparency down to your bed on your printer, on your 3D printer, and then paint white plastic on it, and it turns it into a picture. And that's cool. That's another thing that I'm just kind of exploring more. You can use it for buttons. You can use it for name tags. You can use it for, your imagination is pretty much what uh, limits you to whatever you want to do with it. So that's been basically what I have been up to. And to be honest with you, that's why I bought my 3D printer. I don't give a shit about articulated dragons or spiral whatevers. I don't care about 4-color filament. Which reminds me, I had a really good price on filament, from one of the Chinese, probably AliExpress, I think. And I got all excited about it because it was only like $6.80. The shipping was more than the filament. So I bought it, and I finally got it. And what they sent me is this. Let's see if I can show you the difference.
It's a lot smaller.
It's like 200. It's only 200 grams. Okay,
No
but it was
way.
a great price. But yeah, 200 grams.
So that's
Anyway,
like $30 for a kilo, right?
right. I mean, what the heck? So anyway, that's the only multicolor filament I have in my inventory of about 50 spools of filament. So anyway, that's pretty much what I've been up to.
Nice. And yeah, I got another email back from King Rune. That's talking about like sending me some filament to do a review on that. So I'll look into that. Yeah, try to maybe I can get some deals for you guys. Who knows? We'll see.
Always looking for a deal. Always.
Definitely. Yeah, how's it going, Larry?
I just ordered.
Oh yeah, go ahead, Robert. You said you ordered some?
Well, I get a lot of PLA, and that'll PLA plus I'll buy from that 3D Max, so you get it for flat $12 a roll if you buy 10 of them.
Yeah.
And if you catch it, you have to really get on there and watch it. They often have those what they call color change rolls, and they're like $8 or $9 for a piece for 10 of them. And I happened to finally snag one, and almost so far all the rolls I have are solid colors. So I don't know what they're doing there, but
Really? What brand was
yeah,
that?
that's that 3D Max. You haven't heard of that?
I've
I'm
heard of
just
them,
I'm
yeah.
opening my email right now because
I'll put a
I,
link in the chat because that's a really good place to buy bulk stuff when you can't find anything else on sale.
Nice.
thank you for that because I'm always looking for a deal on stuff like that.
Let me put the link in there because that's that P plus it's PLA plus, so it's tougher. And I
Yeah.
usually bump it up 5 or 10 degrees to because of that, and it prints great. I haven't had any real issues with it, just especially for prototyping. You can burn through a lot of filament when you're trying out different parts and things. So,
Yeah.
but you got to go into their offers part on the shopping. If you get in there, you'll find it. When you go to shop, look for offers, and then they got bulk discounts. So they
Nice.
throw that in there.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
I see it now. Yeah.
There you go.
Pulled up now. Yeah.
Okay. Good
I mean,
stuff.
sometimes like Sun Lu has been really aggressive about that lately. I mean, if you catch it right on Amazon, sometimes you get 12 rolls or 10 rolls of that for around $10, $12 a roll. But
Yeah.
it's just hit or miss. Of course, about Amazon's deals page, right? When you go on Amazon and you choose deals and search filament, a lot of times that's a quick way to find super deals on it. But
Yeah, I actually wrote an article about how to get the cheapest filament. That's one of the ones that's in the Amazon deals. Yeah, I'll probably even quickly link that in the chat so you guys can have a look. But yeah, let's see.
so far, I live in Minnesota, and the 3D Max hasn't charged tax or shipping, so which surprises me. They're getting away with not charging tax when they're selling in the U.S. because
Yeah.
Minnesota loves their taxes.
Sure. Yeah, I see 10 rolls of color change filament here on the 3D Max for $89.90.
I was,
That's pretty good.
yeah, I
That's
would.
solid.
Well, they come in these. The only issue I've had is in the Bambu. They got these cheap rolls that they use, and so I use my Postomatic filament winder. I print it out to rewind them onto. There's a really excellent Bambu spool where you can print them out yourself and make
Yeah.
your own spools, and then I just rewind them on that. It takes about a minute. Electric drill.
The only thing I worry about with that is like if I print those in PETG, which I assume because it has a higher relative temperature than PLA. If you print those, then how do they behave when you dry the filament?
I print mine the spools in ASA, and
Okay, yeah,
yeah, and then I don't worry about it because I got a couple dryers and I use it all the time. So
yeah, yeah.
in the summer in Minnesota, you got to even dry PLA or if
Okay,
you
I
sure.
did some in PETG and don't have a problem.
No, okay, well, that's good to know because I mean, that's the only limitation. The only reason why I've not bought any of the refills on the Bambu site because I just thought, I live in New York and right now we're going into winter, and of course, the relative humidity is going to drop like a rock.
yeah.
But boy, in the middle of the summer,
Yeah,
it's
I'm sure Pet G works just fine for it. I just never, just slower for me. It prints the ASA a little faster. And I'm big
yeah.
on two things: speed and big build plates. So
Right.
You've also got an enclosed printer, I assume, because
I have the Bamboo P1S with the AMS on it, and then I did just get a little mini A1 mini a couple weeks ago, which is good for small color stuff. And then I got a Keedy, I don't know how you pronounce it, QIDI, Keedy is the way I say it.
Keedy.
The X Max
Keedy.
3. Yeah, the X Max 3 is 325 or no, 330 on the build plate, and it's enclosed and it allows you to set the heat on the chamber if you need it. So
nice.
Yeah.
Which
yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
But
which
you can always get PETG high speed, which prints fast. It prints
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fast compared
yeah.
to others too. So, and I tried some of the Bamboo Lab high speed, and then when I printed my Python, I actually used high speed PETG to print that.
Worked out okay.
Nice.
Yeah,
how you liking your Python?
I'm loving it.
Yeah,
Because before I started posting all this stuff, I started having problems with extracting and feeding, and a lot of times it was slot 3, but then it would progress to the others. Then I'd clean out the internal hub and all that stuff, which I didn't find a whole lot in there a couple of times. But now that and I was waiting for a main board and all that stuff, and I just said, you know what? If it's a mainboard problem, it'll transcribe over to my Python. Yeah, no problems.
cool.
Nice. Nice. Oh yeah, I
It's a
want to
good.
ask. Did you get any updates with the 3D print that we was talking about? I know you had a bit of troubleshooting stuff that you wanted to do, right?
Yeah, I still haven't been able to figure it out. I haven't been able to test today, but the last one I did was with the settings that sent me directly, um, and it still had that issue. So I think you're right about the wall generator um, needing to be adjusted, because at this point I don't know what else it would be. So
Okay.
Did
yeah.
you try it with any other filament other than eSun? I'm just
Yeah,
curious.
yeah. I've tried it with the some of the 3D Max filament actually, and they came out fine that way. It's just with the matte. I even tried it with eSun PLA Plus, and it was fine. It's just their matte filament for some reason.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
and it's not even like I just got a bad. I mean, maybe I did just get a bad roll, but I have two different colors, so if I got a bad roll, then I got a couple bad rolls. So
Hmm.
yeah,
What
I don't know.
What
profile
I
are
did
you
you?
using for it?
I'm using a custom one that I set up with the settings that they sent me for the last one, and then before then I was using settings that were either like on their sale pages for the map PLA, or I was going through a million different forums trying a different combinations of settings.
Or did
Mm.
you try to like change the temperature? I'm guessing, like
Yeah,
increase
it
it
was
by some, decrease it by some.
yeah, it was mostly the temperature and the flow rate that I changed.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah.
That's curious. That's
And
curious.
after you change those, did you try to recalibrate?
I guess not. The P1S
Well,
doesn't have an auto
because if you
calibration.
No, it doesn't have an auto calibration, but it'll create those patches so you can see which one has the best flow in it, and then select it. And then I would also take the filament and try doing some other small model, even just a benchy, to see if the benchy comes out right. And don't use the benchy that's on the printer.
Yeah, no, I actually did do a small print yesterday with one of them, and this one came out fine. There was a tiny bit of under extrusion on the very top layer, but it's not even nearly as bad. Like you can't tell unless you're like holding it this close.
See, that
So
sounded like you're having a batch of filament problems there.
yeah,
Yeah, because
I
if the
don't.
other ones work, then that's curious if the one
Mm-hmm.
the one didn't work. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if maybe the print, if the area where the under extrusion's the biggest issue, if it's just like too small right there. Or something. I can't imagine that. I've never heard of that being an issue before, but I mean, I'm also pretty new to this, so
Yeah,
but
there is another setting, detect thin walls. Did you I think I put
mhm.
that in a message, right? Did you have a look at that one as well?
Yeah, that's been on for most of the attempts that I've done.
Okay.
What
Okay.
was it doing?
It's under extruding on the bottom layer of my prints.
I can quickly
I don't
bring up
know
the
if you'll be
picture.
able to see this, but um,
Let's
oh
see.
god, okay, maybe if you guys can kind of see that in like the center along the circular line.
I'm gonna present and then show
There's
the
some
picture.
gaps. Yeah,
So let's have a
Is that
look.
on a P1S, you said?
yeah.
So it's this
Yeah, I
picture right
had to,
here.
on almost every filament, I have to calibrate on mine using I use the pattern. It's easier to see. And um, I bet almost every filament's 0.02 or 0.3. I have to adjust it to.
And what? Sorry, what was that on?
Well, the calibration on the bamboo slicer, you do the manual calibration, choose your filament build plate, and then you print that out, and it'll next screen will ask you what setting did you choose, and when you do that, it will adjust so that your flow rate is correct.
Gotcha.
Um, Another thing to try is in your filament setting, you have to make a copy. You go into click your filament little pencil icon in the when you're in the main prepare tab, and if you how was I say it? If it's an off-brand filament, not bamboo, you're using generic PLA, right?
I did try that for one of them, but I've been doing custom profiles mostly and changing the settings.
Wow. There's also the MVS, max volumetric speed, and
I got Bamboo
bamboo will
Studio
set it.
here.
They'll set it about 21 for their filament, and I think around lower for the other ones.
Yeah, which setting are you
Yeah, they
talking
set
about
it
here?
much lower for
Or is
the
it
other
over here?
ones.
Yeah, right there. So they
Yeah,
got
that
22. Well, that's how, like, some filaments drop that down to about 13, 14, and see if it makes any big difference too.
Okay. That's interesting.
That regulates that's how you regulate your overall speed. Like I got a Sawvell SVO7 Plus, which in theory is supposed to do X amount of speed. Well, a lot of times I got to bump that back a couple of notches, not
Okay.
have issues with that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Okay.
that shouldn't be doing that. Not on the bamboo. Not once you got it calibrated. It should be pretty much perfect.
Yeah, it's calibration, isn't it? Okay, let's put back here. Okay, so
I even
yeah, I'll
had to
definitely
do.
look into the
I have to
file.
even my bamboo filament that I had quite a bit of it, both PLA and PETG, I had to calibrate too. It was off also. And you would think, no, it's not supposed to be, but it sure was. Where I discovered this
yep.
was when you're doing small parts that you have to assemble something together. And I'm like, what? I stuck it in my Prusa and it come out perfect, and I threw it on the bamboo and it couldn't fit nothing together.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how I found that out the hard way. So
Well, yeah, Morton. How's your new bamboo doing?
Well, it's been a pleasure to use. I'm not doing anything dramatic, pretty well standard stuff, but it's been trouble free. It's been about 2 months now, so I'm quite happy with it.
Love that. I love that. 'Cause, yeah, I remember he was gonna get the Anycubic Cobra combo, I think, and then I mentioned the bamboo was a good choice
wait, what
instead.
about the
Yes, you did
K2
talk me into
bats?
it.
That's a good one too, isn't it? With K2
Well,
Creality.
Crowley they just came out with the K2 with their own AMS on it.
Yeah, I've heard.
350 millimeter build plate.
Nice.
Yeah.
Anything that has Creality name on it gives me the hives.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
sorry. Maybe next year,
Yeah.
after
Well,
1,000 people have broken it, I want to see,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I know a guy's got a K1 here in town, and his is working pretty smooth. I was impressed with what he's doing with it. But last one I had, I got a couple of very early, the first version of the Ender 3s that I bought when they were selling them for, what do you call it?
$200.
Returns. If you go on the site, you can get the returns for about 79, $80. But I bought one of
Nice.
those and converted it into a belt printer.
Oh, nice.
well,
Okay.
you're
Yeah, they
more
got those kits for them. So
That's
you're
pretty
more
cool.
ambitious than I am. I gave mine away. I gave 203s that were damn near brand new to the library, to the Maker Lab down there, and he's called me about 18 times trying to figure out
Excuse me.
this, that, and the third on them, which is cool. But I bought my Bambu to print, not to tinker with.
Definitely. Yeah, yeah. It's nice at first to tinker, but then it's like I just want to 3D print now.
Yeah. Well, back when
Mhm.
I bought them like almost 4 years ago, and then I got sick, and I had a long recovery, and I didn't really get to open the boxes until earlier this year. And so in the years that passed, all of a sudden, printers went from being antiques to, like Model T Fords to uh, Porsche Carreras, and in that duration of time, that's technology that rapidly developed, and so when I took them out of the box, I looked around and I said, "What am I doing with these?" And then I bought the A1, which is the only printer I have right now. But I'll tell you what, it's just been so not. I mean, I screwed up, and I burned up uh, an assembly here, or actually, it was the clasp on this thing that wouldn't close properly, and I decided to use a screwdriver. Well, that was dumb. Took me a week. This is from Bambu Labs, and I bought like 3 of them, so in case I get stupid again. But after 2 hours of taking it apart, put it back together again, it's working. It's never worked. It's never worked badly. It's never given me a bad print. There are obviously tweaks, improvements and flow rates, and calibrating is obviously important. But after that, there's just we those of us who have the Bamboo know what the difference
Yeah.
is between them and an Ender, at least anyway. Old
Yeah,
Ender,
yeah.
old Ender.
I still got my Ender 3 up in the attic, so that's just collecting dust. Yeah, how's it going, Morton? You want to say something?
I very much enjoy my Bamboo. I think it's the greatest thing ever. I've had 5 different Crealities, and I hear a lot of comments about Creality being not so great, and I have to agree. However, I just bought a Creality for 200 Canadian dollars. That's like 160 US dollars, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's like the old Ender 3, but it has a lot of advantages now. It has a lot of automatic stuff, and it seems like they're really making strides forward. I
Right.
still enjoy my Bamboo, and I'm going to stay with it. But I got this Ender for somebody else as a present, and they're getting into the trade now, or I should say the hobby. And it's really quite a decent machine.
Yeah, definitely. Like since the end of three, they've definitely stepped their game up in terms of the upgrades. They've added like the automatic kind of like filament sensor, the auto leveling calibration. So they've definitely improved. They've kind of like
Yeah. So you
yeah.
start out with a $200 ender, and you end up with $300 worth of adjustments on it. That's how that. And now you can just buy all of the options in one package instead of buying it and going through that process, which is
Yeah.
cool. I can appreciate that, Morton. And that's what I was looking at. I was going, well, I want to print. I don't want to spend 7 hours of adjusting for every hour of printing.
Yeah, those old machines. I got three of those 10 log DL D3 Pros that are 300 millimeter, and they got IDEX two heads on them.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Wow.
had them in
Good
stuff.
luck.
I've been in last year. I was moving and stuff. Well, those things actually are really solid machines once you get them tweaked out on the leveling and that. But it's all manual. You still got to use the paper and the knobs on the the bottom. And I hadn't done that for months and months and months since I've had the Bambus and the Key and even my Pruses. They do their once you get them set, they're good to go. But that I call it venerable old machine that works good. So
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, Morton, I want to ask, how are those Christmas models coming along? I remember you said you was printing some Christmas models on the Bamboo, I think.
Well, they're really coming along very, very well. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, not just for Christmas, but every month. I see to it that the kids get something new. Our daughter operates a daycare center. She has kids there from the age of around 4 up to about 12. And I make a variety of things for the kids,
Cool.
and they just love it. And right now I am working on the Christmas stuff, which will be a multicolored Santa Claus and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and his father the buck and his mother the doe, a few things like that. And the kids just love it.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's awesome. Yeah, I think do you know Rod in the group? He does like a lot of artistic stuff and creative stuff. So maybe he can give you some tips on maybe improvements if you wanted to. But yeah, he does a lot of like creative stuff like that. It's awesome.
I'm always glad to get help.
Yeah,
He's
nice
the
one,
one
nice one.
to do it, though. I'll tell you, he's a great teacher. On top
He's
of
so
being
good.
a solid artist, and I think he really enjoys sharing what he knows, and that's cool because we always can use the help that way. I've learned a lot just reading his tutorials, going through them. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
And that's like only the surface. He has like a lot of like modeling stuff, VR, all kinds of different like technological kind of topics. It's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, it is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Larry, how's your 3D printing going these days?
Doing well. I've been between printing some additional stuff for the Python. I've been starting to look at some of the models for decorations and stuff to get some of those ready. So, because I sat there and it's like with the Python, it's not like dropping it into the AMS. You actually have to mount the spool and everything. So I'm like, all right, I'll do a couple additional spool holders because, right now I've got black, red, green, and white. That's for the Christmas decoration stuff predominantly. And I keep changing out. So I'm like, I'll print some more of these. I'll print a stand for them. That way I can just have those 4 as my standards and swap out everything else.
I like that. That's cool. That's cool. But yeah, how about
Hey,
you, Eric?
just trying to think ahead.
Yeah, that's a good idea for sure. I like that. I like that. I was gonna ask Eric, how's your 3D printing? You doing like any projects kind of thing, or how's it looking?
Not recently. I've been working on our car. It's a hybrid, and I've been replacing some modules in the main battery, the high voltage battery. So haven't been
Nice.
much doing any 3D printing, no.
Okay. It's the
You're getting
mechanical
you're
side.
getting into summer down there now, aren't you? You're getting
Sorry?
warmer. You're getting warmer every day down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We're getting cold. You're getting hot.
Yeah. I think
Awesome.
Saturday's going to be about 37 degrees C, which is just under 100 of your
Yeah.
temperatures. Yeah.
Wow.
That's weird. It's so
See, and
weird.
today's the coldest it's been here in Vegas. I left for work this morning and it was 39 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah, we got into the 20s last night here in upstate New
Wow.
York, and
Whoa.
it's so crazy. In Australia, it's like Christmas Day is in the 90s, and here it's like if we don't have snow, it's disappointing to everybody. It's so weird.
It's the opposite.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah. Wait, and you, which area are you from again?
I'm from Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Okay. And what's the weather like out there?
It's getting chillier. I like it though. I like when it's like the fall kind of chilly. That's like the perfect temperature to me because then I can just wear pants and a sweater and not have to worry about it, and then always have a blanket inside and not risk sweating. So it's the perfect
Good
temperature for me.
combination. Yeah.
I always
Okay.
remember that I lived in Santa Barbara for several years, or actually Isla Vista, if you know what that is. And October and April seem to be like the transition months where you if you're going to get rain, it would be in October or in April, and every other month was like day and night were it never changed. It was so even. Um,
That's
that
pretty
was
cool.
my impression anyway, as a New Yorker, where we had 4 definite seasons, some of them in the same day.
Eh,
Yeah.
Epic.
Well,
I'm still getting used to 4 seasons after 30 years in Alaska where we had 2 seasons. So
Robert, how'd you exist up there? Did you what was your vocation when you lived up there?
I was in the first year I lived in Petersburg, which is down on the panhandle, so it's like the Pacific Northwest with maybe a little more snow. But in the last 29 or 30 years was Fairbanks, so I was up in the middle of the state there. And back in the 80s, we used to get 50 below at night and 40 below in the daytime for 2 weeks at a time. And boy, I tell you, that was brutal. But when I was young, it didn't matter. Now it would kill me.
Oh yeah.
What's worse is the darkness. Come December 21st, you get 3 hours and 42 minutes of sun that barely comes above the horizon.
Wow.
So when you get older, that just wears you down. I worked in the bar business for years, and sometimes I go 2, 3 weeks without ever seeing sunlight. So
I believe that.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
no thanks.
Same here. Long hours. Seeing the sun come up at you when you work at a bar, you close the bar at 2:30, but you never go home at 2:30.
I used to work at night from 8 at night till 5 in the morning is when they closed at that time. So
yeah.
and but
Wow, crazy.
Summer's up there from about mid-June to mid-July is the most gorgeous time. As if they don't have fires or get smoky, then it's just gorgeous, and you got 24 hours of daylight.
Yeah.
The sun just barely goes below the horizon for those couple hours in June, and it's just gorgeous. In fact, they play a midnight baseball game up there every year on the 21st that they use no artificial lighting.
That's great.
Many times I teed off 18 holes of golf starting at midnight. So,
Nice.
but anyway, yeah, I didn't know about printers when I was up there, but
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
I,
I want
I
to
miss
quickly ask.
you know.
Yeah, I want to quickly ask you guys. Have any of you been to like a craft fair before, like a farmers market craft fair kind of in-person event type of thing?
No, not me.
I haven't vended at one, but I've attended plenty of them.
Okay.
I think I mentioned 3 weeks ago I did a weekend at the local mall here where they do a day or two where they have people come in and sell, set up tables. They got crocheters and book sales, and in my case, a 3D print, but I made the deal with the local pet store there, so I didn't have to pay the huge fee they had for a table. I just gave them a flat 25% of what I made, and I did about 200 and some dollars. So
Cool.
Okay.
yeah, it was well worth. I mean, it's now I got the pet stores actually buying prints from me. They're buying all these lizards and geckos and stuff, which apparently are way more popular than I thought.
Wow.
And
That tank right there is for a gecko.
yeah,
Yeah.
I knew
Yeah.
nothing about them, so they looked up some files online, and I printed them a few, and I just had to resupply them here a couple days ago.
Because yeah, I've been thinking about like doing a more kind of local thing. So I want to kind of look at local stores around my area and kind of see what kind of 3D prints that they might want. So obviously pet stores would be a big one. I think a lot of bakeries might like kind of cute little cupcake models or things like that, so I'm kind of thinking about different ideas for different stores in my area and kind of seeing where I can make
have
some
you
in-person sales.
you go to the bakery? Have you seen the teddy bear tray holder?
Teddy bear tree holder.
No, it's a teddy bear that holds a little tray up above its head, and it's
Oh,
a no
tray.
support print. I was just going to say that might work well for a bakery. They could use them to display stuff on.
I like that. That's cool.
I'll see if I
That's
can
cool.
find a link. I'll put it in the chat for you.
Robert,
Yeah.
when they buy your or you are you on consignment at the pet stores, or how does that work?
The first time I did, the first batch, I did go on consignment, and we just wrote down a list and made it simple. And then when I took the resupply in, so it's the second time, putting stuff in there, then they just paid me flat out for them. So the whole idea is to see what sells, and
Right.
and
So how
so
do they display it in the pet store? Or I'm
uh,
okay. So I'm envisioning a Petco. Is this like a local store?
yeah, this is in fact, it's the only one in town, and it um, town of about what is it, 12, 13,000, I think, 11,000, and so it ended up being working out well for that. But yeah, I was surprised. That's what they wanted um,
Okay.
was the lizards, geckos, snakes. The articulated rattlesnakes and stuff. And yeah, it's we'll see how it continues and what happens during Christmas here. I'm starting to gear up and print a few more so I could get ahead of it a little. So
You should ask
um,
them if they have if they know any other bakeries, and then maybe they could also want some 3D prints as well.
well, I'm gonna get around. I just haven't had time or made time to go to some other places and try. I did. Okay, so here's another thing. I did try a couple of those. They got two different craft stores in this mall where you rent a space for 30 or 40 bucks a month, and you can put whatever you want in that space, like a shelf or two. problem I ran into was they use the people that put stuff in there have to do a day or two a month to man it so they can that's how they deal with the staff situation. Well, the problem there is and they're closed a lot, and it's just such a when you walk in, it'll just massive amounts of every kind of craft thing you can think of, so it's easy to get lost. And so I'm glad that like I said, I'd went in there and both of them told me, they said, well, we're booked out for 3-4 months, so I just wandered around, and that's how I accidentally went into the pet store.
Nice.
That little teddy bear thing there, I printed a ton of those, and like rainbow colors and stuff, and people really like them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that'd
That's
be really
neat.
nice in rainbow.
Yeah, the tray prints separately, and what you do is you just super glue it on there then.
Okay, that's pretty
Very
cool.
And
nice.
of course,
Great idea.
Cool. So let's see what other designs
So
we have.
what do? Do you spray the muffin with varnish? so so it lasts like a McDonald's Big Mac under glass?
well, like my sister, she bakes a lot for her church, and so I gave her 3 or 4 of those, and she took them over there and put cupcakes and stuff on them. I printed them smaller for those, and then because you can resize to whatever you need
Yeah.
in your slicer, and but
So is that and it is also free or?
no, it looks
These are
like he
paid.
just pulled it up as $2.50 to buy the file.
Yeah,
I
this
see.
is a
Or
£2 one.
$1.98, and what is that, euros or something?
That's a
That
pound
was like
sterling.
Pounds?
Yeah,
Okay,
pounds.
yeah.
Yeah.
So in the US it's about 250. I just looked it up too. So,
cool. That's cool, really. It's a great idea.
I'm guessing they might have like a Patreon or something. Koza Design. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Koza's got.
Okay, let's see. Membership. Okay, yeah, $10 a month for commercial license. Very good
yeah.
price. And tons of models. So that's a good one right there. I like it.
I just thought of that when you said bakery, because that's an ideal thing for them to display different things on. So.
Yeah, I love that. I like it. Yeah, I think so one of the ideas I had was to basically do like a well-known logo, like maybe Starbucks or like a famous company, and then like a range of different 3D prints that a company might want, like I don't know, some kind of cool lithophanes, keychains, some kind of text models, and then having that like a selection, and then kind of going store to store and just asking them if they'd be interested in like, having any of these items, purchasing that, and then that could be a good way to kind of get some in-person sales through local business.
Have you checked with the managers to see if they're allowed to bring stuff into those big chains like that?
That's what I was just thinking. Corporate might have something to say about that.
Yeah, so I'd make like a separate logo, and then obviously once I bring it in, then they can obviously determine whether their management and their like brand team can actually do that. You know what I mean? But yeah, so I guess it's worth. I was thinking there'd be more like the smaller stores, like not like a big chain, but like a mom and pop kind of store where it's like lower key.
They'd be much more receptive to that probably.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, one time in Alaska, for about 6 months in Alaska, I worked with a guy that we did that. We had a garment printer where you could print on T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we went online and found this local Chinese restaurant logo, and we brought it in and printed out a shirt, and he wore it in there when he picked up his food order, and they ordered 25 of them right there.
Oh, nice.
Great idea.
I love it.
That's what UV printing will get you, and that's one of the things. Boy, I'd love to get into that. It's just the cost.
Garment printing.
You can you can print right on garments. You can print.
I did that for
anything. Anything you can get ink on.
Yeah, they work really well. They're just about $15,000 or so to buy.
Yeah, that's the only problem, right?
Wow.
But what you just reminded me. One of the possibilities is printing tap handles. you know, there around here there are dozens of craft breweries, and I'm not. I'm pretty sure we're not alone that way. I know out in the West Coast, in Portland, where I used to live, there's hundreds of them. But that's the other thing I thought maybe might be a viable way to make a buck. I remember having. I used to manage the Blue Moon Tavern in Portland, Oregon, back in the '80s when it was a very popular place. So we had 50 kegs on tap, and at any one time, I had a box of tap handles that I wasn't using in the back, uh, from changing companies and changing just styles and whatnot. The early '80s, so there was a lot of movement that way. But I had a group of Europeans. I don't remember. I think they may have been from Germany. Come in one day and enjoy our beers, and they were also souvenir seekers. Well, won't you know that Bud tap handles, they'll pay $60-$75 for one, and I got a whole box of them. I went home pretty happy that day. But it occurred to me, that that's maybe a good way to make, $50. Make a tap handle for a local whoever, and bring it into a tavern and see what they think, and take it
Huh.
from.
Yeah.
And you could use heat inserts for the threads on them. Find out what the standard is, because I'm sure it is standardized. And then you wouldn't need to worry about threading or any of that bullshit. You'd just be able to zap that heat insert into that hole, and away you go. Just
I
something to
like
think
it.
about. Another additional avenue of revenue if ever we get I get off my butt and get going on that.
Yeah. It's a lot to explore. I'm thinking maybe I can like go store to store and just kind of go on the map and just figure out all the kind of 3D prints I could do for like this company, that company, and it's like one by
Exactly.
one.
You could go crazy with it if you think about it.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be a lot of fun.
Check
That's
the
pretty
chat. I
good.
just put a thing I found just now for those inserts for tap handles.
Oh, great. So you know
Yeah,
what
I
I'm
just
talking about.
well, I just happened to think of
Yeah.
that because we got two breweries in town, and when you mention it, I go, huh. Even maybe you could put the beer brand and the bar logo on them or something,
Well, there you go. Look at that right there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I might have to take a look at that for town. I
Neat.
don't know about selling them online, but maybe locally.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like that.
So, yeah.
Boom.
And as time goes on, I want to get a, 3D scanner. I missed the Kickstarter for the one that just came out. Uh, I really wanted one. I don't have $700 to blow on it, but that would be really cool, because then you could be able to, physically model, and accurately physically model some of these other tap handles, and maybe, uh, you know, get ideas that way too. So yeah, I mean, good stuff all the way around.
You might try a photo and put it on the AI generation sites and see if it'll give you anything useful.
I played with that a little bit. I don't think it's ready for prime time. It gives
No,
you it gives you a base model that's
yeah,
real kludgy. I don't know. Maybe by this time next year, or maybe if I have a more powerful computer, I can get more triangles. I don't know.
There was some
yeah.
actually another software. Some guy on Coast 3D. He basically has this thing where you take a picture and then you take another picture from a slightly different angle, and it kind of has some calibration thing where it creates a 3D object from these two pictures. I've not yet tried it, but from the examples he showed, it looks pretty interesting. It's got some potential.
Cults 3D.
Yeah, I think I'll be able
Have you
to.
tried the AI scanner that's on Maker World or in Maker Lab?
Yeah,
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 scanning.
that
I haven't tried it.
that's the one I was just talking about. It's okay, but it just gives you a real,
Real
um,
vague one.
yeah,
makes you cartoony like.
very, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, here's the scanner. So it's like a pay thing though. So you have to, and the ratings aren't very good. But apparently it's because the guys couldn't figure it out. So I don't know if it's worth trying, but yeah, it's interesting. I kind of wanted to try it out myself.
Got you.
It looks
Okay.
interesting because I've done some scanning before, so I might look into that one day.
Yeah,
So
that looks a whole lot more detailed than the one on Maker World. Like that looks almost too like that's been enhanced. Like he photoshopped that, but
Right.
maybe not. I mean, who knows? But 1.5 stars is not very encouraging.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. I was even reading through the comments. I left him a comment, I think, as well, of like the methodology of like how to do it, and you have to do it like really precise. And he's made like a PDF file on it as well to like teach you how to actually do it properly. So yeah, when I get some time, I might try to do that. Yeah, sounds interesting.
So I saw a guy that actually had bought one of those Revo scanners or Revos,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
and he actually created his wife's a professional archer, so he scanned the grip of her bow and remodeled it to change the angle so it was more natural for her as opposed to what the factory is.
Yeah.
And it was just a grit that he clamped on over the grip to change the angle. And he did that. He scanned it in and then created the model to go around that.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually got a Revo Pop 2 scanner. I did a review. I got the first one, did a review on that, and they sent me a second one as well. I did a review, and yeah, they are solid. They're very like
Oh,
accurate. Yeah.
so you're selling your review products cheap after you get done reviewing them?
I kind of just keep everything. I don't bother really selling it. Yeah, like everything I've pretty much still got. I gave one resin 3D printer away to my friend. He like made a bunch of miniatures, sold it to people. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I've just got a bunch of like all the old stuff, just kind of like in storage. Yeah, yeah. But they've even released the Pop 3, which is even way more impressive as well. So obviously it's gonna go up in price, but the quality of scanning is so good. It's amazing.
I just went
And what's
on.
this? Metrox. Okay. Oh wow, that looks insane.
Yeah.
That looks professional.
That's the way you look at the price on it. It's $669 for it
Really.
for an early bird. That's like 30% off, 33% off. That's a
Wow.
good price. That's the one I was gonna like. I want that so bad.
It looks
But
amazing. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah, I just don't have that kind of dough laying around. But that is a nice scanner. You know?
Wow. 0.03 millimeter accuracy.
Yeah.
Sheesh. And it's only 500 grams. Wow. Nice and light. I might try to reach out to them, see if they'll send me one. I've not been in contact with them for a while, so it's a long shot, but worth a
Yeah.
try.
Well, hey, the more the hands they get in, the more they sell. That's just the nature of the beast. That's why they do it.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yeah. Awesome
Sell
stuff.
some, and they'll love you for it.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Because what have you done like 3D scanning before? I know there's like some DIY scanners. Obviously you can do the phone one where you take multiple pictures and do photogrammetry where you basically stitch the photos together and it creates a 3D object for you. Do you know about that?
I do know about it, but I have not done it. I am an Android user, and I understand that iPhones, especially the high end ones lately, have laser
On the LiDAR.
lidar.
Yeah, they have lidar. They have lidar sensors in there.
Yeah. So those are kind of the ones that are the kind. I don't have. I've got just a
I think
lowly Pixel.
I think you can still do it with just a normal camera. Like as long as you have the pictures and the quality is good,
Yeah.
you take a bunch of pictures like on a turntable, so the object is spinning around, and then once you put in the software, it populates the 3D model. So search on YouTube, Joseph Prusoff photogrammetry, and he has like a tutorial.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
almost bought
the
a turntable the other day. I need to get one. I saw all of the
I think the meeting's about to end, so we'll say our
yeah,
goodbyes real quick.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks guys for being here. Obviously, yeah, next week we'll have a nice chat and catch up. Yeah,
Good
looking
to
forward
see
to
you
it.
guys. Hang
You
in
need
there,
to make
dude.
these
Have
meetings
fun.
longer.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.